All right, sorry about that, guys. I was just checking if my microphone was working. Okay, so basically, market's been good this whole week. Hopefully, it's recording. I think it's recording. Yeah. Okay. So let's begin with our regular pairs when it comes down to UJ. UJ was a simple trade, expected to retrace back to here 60 pips gain. So since that market's already been fulfilled, there's no need to look at it. So first thing first, we look at the monthly. So on the monthly, we see the market retested on this bearish trend line, wicks on the downside, meaning seller's exhaustion. Simple analysis. Now we see this other bearish trend line. If we confirm it, based on this information alone, market retested on the outside and retested twice on that support level with major wicks on the downside. So the potential for this market to maintain an upward trend was highly probable. So now let's look at it on a 4-hour chart. So now looking at the 4-hour chart, we can clearly analyze that this market has the potential to maintain a downward direction. Let's just clear up this chart a little bit because we don't need this information anymore. The reason I say that is because based on this information alone and just personal experience with markets, once the market's been doing what it's done for like a week, it doesn't maintain that direction for quite long. So just to keep that in perspective. So we have this consolidation zone. Now, once market breaks away from this consolidation zone, there is a probability for that sell. Let me just reanalyze this. Okay. So we identified a specific trade setup based on this trend line. We can clearly see that the market is within its bounds to maintain in that downward direction. So based on this information alone, I mean, if you take a trade off of this, you're just basing it off of that bullish trend line, that breakaway retest in that previous resistance zone, and the fact that we have wicks on the upside. Let's look at the 1 hour to give us a little bit more clear-cut picture. Okay, so now this is what I like seeing. All these wicks on the upside, meaning that there's a lot of buyer's exhaustion. So potential for the market to maintain a downward direction is highly probable. So for me personally, I might actually get into this trade, at least with these previous support zones, just because of the fact that the market has passed below that. I don't expect the market to pass below that. And my stop loss would probably be at least 15, I want to say 70 pips, just to make it a secure trade. So that's UJ. Simple analysis. I'm not going to go too deep into it. Okay, now let's look at EU. So looking at EU, we see as monthly. Overall bearish trend line being confirmed multiple times. Market has respected support resistance zone. Simple as analysis. No indicators, no nothing. I mean, I'm literally just saying it's simple as hell. Because it is. Okay, now this is on a daily. What we're seeing on a daily is the market retest on a support level. Resistance zone. So they're not creating it as support. Could probably potentially mean that EU has a probability of maintaining an upward direction. So I'm honestly going to keep an eye on it just because of the fact that I don't really expect this market to maintain that much further of a downward direction. Overall, based on this trade alone, I'm about 70 pips up. So it's not a bad trade. But I do want to keep in consideration this information right here. Because especially when it comes down to these levels, this looks ugly. I'm going to clear this out. No, I need that information because I'm still at this trade. Let me just delete this because it looks ugly. Try to keep your charts as clean as possible because, not even for the aesthetics. Like, look at this. You can't even identify proper trend lines or anything just because of all this mess. Okay. So overall, we have this bullish trend line. If market does break away from this and retest, then there's a potential for the market to maintain that downward direction. So that's why I'm going to keep an eye on it, just because of the fact that potential for this market to maintain downward direction is now not that probable because of the fact that on a higher time frame, it's retesting those support and resistance zones. So to be honest, I'm more than likely going to get out of this trade and get into a buy position. And if I do get in a buy position at this point, I'm expecting for the market to retest on these levels and cross back to these zones, and stop loss would be around 20 pips. But I'm just going to keep an eye on it, wait for it to see what happens. All right, so now let's look at AU. So AU, been in AU for a bit now. It almost in my TP, but it went back into my entry point, which is completely fine. Nothing that I'm too worried about. Okay, looking at the monthly, simple information, breakaway, retest on support resistance zones. Based on this level, market has not pushed below that, as expected. My computer's slow as hell. Okay. So now on a daily, same information. What we're seeing is market consolidate within the zone. Now what we're also seeing is market create a new higher low, meaning that this market is expecting to have that bullish direction sooner than later. So based on this information alone, if I'm not mistaken, what I wouldn't identify a bullish trend line from here because it's nowhere near it. Maybe if I look in a smaller time frame. No, still not. But I do identify a bearish trend line based on this information alone. You can sort of see where the market broke away, retested, and maintain that upward direction. So now what I'm waiting for, if it is a position into a buy, I'm actually going to wait until it breaks away from these general areas, meaning that I need it to break away from this zone. Right here. If it does break above that, I'm obviously going to get out of this trade. And I'm maintaining it to a buy. So my buy position would probably be all the way up here. But I'm just going to wait and see what this information gives us. US30. US30 was profits back in negatives. That was a long-term trade. Not really that worried. We see market have wicks on the downside. That's important information for any other currency, but it's US30, so we have to keep an eye on it just because this is based on more important information overall when it comes down to USA. So overall, based on this information alone, market has not pushed above that. Still within that zone where it's consolidating. It's like hesitating. You can clearly see where the market's starting to create new higher highs, new higher lows, and it's within that general area. But this wick right here, let's look at a smaller time frame. So this information right here is just giving me that idea that this market's still going to maintain a downward direction. I'm not saying it's going to 100% do it, but just based on this, the body of this bullish candle literally basically overwhelmed. The bearish candle overwhelmed the body of the bullish candle. So what I need to see in order to get out of this trade is the market pushes above this and closes off with a solid candle. And if that happens, then the direction for US30 is probably, even though I don't believe it, but based on everything else, more than likely going to maintain an upward direction. But as of now, I'm still maintaining that bearish. Okay, so Ripple hit my TP twice. I got into this right here, and then again within these levels. So I was able to get into 2 trades just because of all this information that I saw. I'm actually expecting the market to maintain a downward direction, which is weird because it's been doing that for such a long time. If we trace back into this bullish trend line, you can literally see it hit back on these levels. So if you identify that, you could potentially go on into another sell. Let me look at the daily. Monthly, like I said, we don't look at the monthly because there's not enough information. Just looking at this, just basically anything. Now we look at the daily. Damn, look at all this. My charts look ugly today. I haven't cleaned them out since like for a month, I think. But I still need these. Just keep an eye on it. Okay, so market is within this resistance zone. I'm gonna delete these. They're already been fulfilled. And it's within that zone. Hasn't pushed above that. So just keep an eye on it. Wicks on the upside. Very good information. Potential sell based on this. So just to be very sure, wait until it breaks away from here. If it breaks above that, then with a solid candle, then you can potentially expect the market to maintain an upward direction. But since it's within that zone, and we do have wicks on the upside, but we also have this major wick on the downside, which is probably just all like a surplus of sellers and buyers just going crazy. So overall, but we do have a lot more consistent wicks on the upside. So meaning this potential for this trade setup is a potential sell for me, to be honest. I'm not saying it's 100%, but based on this information, I can almost see where it could potentially end up. Of course, stop loss is a little bit higher than usual because of all these wicks, all these spikes that we have. And TPs would potentially be down here because of the previous resistance and support zones, which was within just general area. So let's keep an eye on it. I'm not saying I'm exactly going to get into this trade, but I probably am. Just wait and see. Alrighty, guys. So that's basically it. A little word of advice. Let's see what I have. I mean, just keep doing what you guys are doing. If you guys are studying, working, or not, focus on that. Whatever it takes for you to get to where you want to be, because we don't get any younger. That's a fact. And opportunities there. I've been hella busy. I know a lot of people think that just because you don't have a job or you're not gonna work and stuff, you're gonna have freedom of time. But if you're very ambitious and motivated, man, you find things to do to push you beyond that. And that's literally what I've been doing. Like I woke up hella early today, and I've just been communicating. I've been marketing. I've been working on other projects. I've been working on the course. I've been going crazy. I've literally I ate it like at 3, something like that. I completely forgot I had an 8, and which is fine. I mean, I was hungry as hell. I realized when I was hungry as hell. But just keep doing what you're doing and just focus on your goals, focus on your ambitions, and never let nobody else tell you what you can or can't do. Because at the end of the day, let's just be successful. And let's not talk down on people. Come on, man. The reason I say that is because I've been hearing too much of that. Like, fuck a job, fuck a 9 to 5. I get it. Like, I get it. I get it. That's nobody wants a 9 to 5. Majority of people don't want a 9 to 5. But don't make people feel bad just because they got a 9 to 5. That's like a petty ass, childish ass comment. And I hear it a lot. You got to struggle before you get to where you want to be. So if you got to have a 9 to 5, you got to have it first. You just keep that in perspective. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own idea of what life should be. Don't try to implement it on somebody else. Me personally, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be as successful as I can be, help as many people as I can be. Other people are just happy with a 9 to 5. If you can inspire them to do better, do that. But don't tell them that they're doing it wrong. Don't tell them that they're stupid. Don't tell them, talk down on them. That's like a childish ass way to talk down people. Build people up. But yeah, that's basically it. Have a blessed day, guys. Probably see you guys Wednesday when I upload another video. Of course, I'm very, very happy with how it's looking. It's looking really nice. Overall, I have just a little bit more things to do, so it might be released really soon. I'll have a whole week before it's actually released where I'll just be promoting the hell out of it. But as for that, have a good day, guys, or night, and enjoy the rest of your day or night.